Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the Gospel of John. We're in John chapter 18. Today we start reading at verse 33. Now, it's early on the morning of Good Friday. Jesus is on trial before Pilate. The Jewish leadership has brought him to Pilate, hoping that Pilate will have him executed for being a rebel and leading a rebellion against Rome. That's why Pilate asked the question, "Are you a king?" So that's why we're going to start reading at verse 33. Pilate went back inside the palace. He summoned Jesus. He asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" "Is that your own idea?" Jesus asked. "Did others talk to you about me?" "Am I a Jew?" Pilate replied. "Your own people, your own chief priest, they handed you over to me. What is it you have done?" So it's clear they have accused Jesus of setting himself up as a king in opposition to Rome. That's why Jesus said, "Did someone else tell you this?" Pilate said, "Listen, I'm not Jewish. Your own people gave you to me. What have you been doing?" Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world. Now, if it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by these Jewish leaders. But now my kingdom is from another place." So yes, Jesus says, I am a king, but not a political king. My kingdom is not of this world. We're talking spiritual reality, supernatural kingdom, the kingdom of God. Of course, Pilate is probably lost at this point as to what Jesus is talking about. He probably sees Jesus as some sort of visionary, idealistic leader, but not a political threat. "Your kingdom is not of this world, huh? So you are a king then," says Pilate. Jesus answered, "Well, you say that I'm a king. In fact, the reason I was born, the reason I came into the world, was to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me." You see, Pilate's a little sarcastic. "Your kingdom's not of this world. Are you saying you're a king?" Well, yes, I am a king, but a king who testifies to the truth about God, the truth about the kingdom of God. "What is truth?" retorted Pilate. Pilate's not interested in philosophical discussion as he thinks Jesus is involved in. He probably sees Jesus as some sort of Jewish philosopher, but he does not see him as a threat. If he purports to be a king, as these Jewish leaders say, it's not a real king. It's just a philosophical king. And if you testify to the truth, well, what is truth, said Pilate? Everybody has their own version of truth. You know, Pilate's really like a modern person. Truth is relative, but it's not. Jesus gives testimony to what is true. The truth about God and the truth about the kingdom of God. Jesus will have nothing of this relativistic idea that truth is in the eye of the beholder and different people have different truths. No, there's only one truth. That is the truth Jesus comes to reveal to us about God and the kingdom of God. So yes, Jesus says, "I am a king." Oh no, not a political king, not a threat to Rome. I am a king in the kingdom of God. So what is Pilate going to do with this? Notice what he does. He goes out again to the Jews who are gathered there, and he says, "I find no basis for a charge against this man." In other words, your accusation is false. There's nothing to what you're saying. He's not a political threat to Rome. He's not a rebel. He's an idealist. He's a philosopher, Pilate thinks, but he's no real threat. There's no basis to your charge. So why doesn't he just release him? Well, as strange as it sounds to us, in the Roman system of justice, if you were accused of something, even if you were innocent, the Romans thought you ought to be punished. Just to be brought before the authorities involves some sort of punishment. So now he starts looking for a way to release Jesus. Even though he's been accused, although the accusation is false and Pilate recognizes, he's got to do something with him. So he says, "Listen, it's your custom for me to release to you one prisoner at this time of the Passover. Do you want me to release this king of the Jews?" Now he's talking sarcastically, this king of the Jews. He doesn't believe he's a king. He's just an idealist, according to Pilate's thought. But he says, "I've had this tradition that at Passover, to recognize your festival, I will release one prisoner. Do you want me to release this man, this king?" They shout back, "No, not him. Give us Barabbas." Now, Barabbas had taken part in an uprising. Barabbas was truly a rebel. He was probably of the party of the Zealots who were trying to overthrow Rome. He was probably sentenced to be executed. And they asked for Barabbas. They asked for Barabbas. "Now, give us Barabbas," they said, "not this man." What is Pilate going to do? In tomorrow's session, we'll see that he decides to have Jesus crucified even though he knows he's innocent. Well, that'll be for tomorrow's session. So join us next time for our 5-minute Bible study in the Gospel of John. We'll begin looking at chapter 19.